Hey, good morning, and welcome to another episode of the Fueled Life podcast. And today we're going to be talking about a topic that most people take for granted. And that topic is sleep. And you can't just tune into this one time and think that you cover every dimension. And I know we've talked a little bit about this before in the past, but we're going to dive in a little bit deeper on this episode. I'm joined with my co host, Charlie Collins. Charlie, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing quite well this fine morning and excited to talk about taking a nap later.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think that's funny that you would say that, but that's how often people will wake up and they'll be thinking about the nap time already after they've gotten out of bed. You know, and you want to know what's the deal with that? Why do you think that takes place?
Well, well, I also feel that there's absolutely nothing wrong with taking a 25-minute nap in the afternoon if you so choose. There's reasons I needed to go to bed a little late. I'm a little short on sleep. I want to regain, I want more repairing to be done. There's so many variables, but like you said, if I can't get my nap in today, I'm going to be grumpy. There's an issue, you know? Um, but why is that? Well, it is pretty complex, but Stanley, it is 168 hours in the week, right?
Right.
And if you can do 8 hours a night sleep, well, out of 24, that gives you a lot of time still to get done, to do, to be, and to have throughout your week. And growing up, my parents had me going to bed, and I always thought I don't want to sleep. Sleep is boring,
Right.
and I can't have fun and do things. So, and then I remember in my 20s, I started dating my wife, and I don't know when I found out, but she was like, "Oh," I'm like, "All right, well, let's get together later." She goes, "Yeah, all right. Well, I'm taking a nap, and then I'm like, "You're taking a nap?" I'm like, old people take naps. It blew me away. I didn't say that, but I was like, I would never take a nap. And that is not the case anymore.
And that's it. There's so many people that struggle getting a good quality of sleep. It's not just the quantity, but it's the quality of sleep. And some people think that just because they go to bed and they're laying there, that they're accumulating sleep. But so many people's sleep patterns are interrupted. They wake up in the middle of the night, they lay their head down and they ruminate thoughts, and then they wake up and they're ruminating thoughts. And the quality of that sleep, it factors into the overall health and the well-being. And most people really don't realize how important sleep really affects your clarity, your energy, your physical health, the way your digestive system works. All of these things that we kind of take for granted because, number one, nobody teaches us this. And number two, we're taught to learn a lot of this on our own. And so we're dabbling, we're reaching for straws, trying to create a straw house, and the wind keeps blowing and it just messes things up. And I just wonder how many times people wake up feeling tired.
Tired, sore, and instantly drop into negative thoughts, and not like totally devastating ones, just not like the joy of living is not kicking in. Um, and Stanley, we live in a box, a home.
Yep.
We go to work in a box
Yep.
for the most part. We go to school in a box. We come back home to the box, and then we get buried in a box. But in these boxes that we're living and working in, there's artificial lighting. There's highly processed foods. It's nothing like it was back when the human condition was outside almost all day, because we worked on farms, we worked outside, we were touching the earth, we were connecting, we were getting the sun, we were getting fresh air. And that is not the way it is anymore. And our bodies are taking a toll on it. We're sleeping 25% less than we used to because we're busy. And again, if I go back to the 168 hours and then back out 8 hours, 9 hours of sleep a day, and then look at your week, it's like, well, I don't have time to sleep. I'm too busy. Uh-huh. Well, are you eating extra during the day? Because that's a sign that we're not getting enough sleep. Are you short? Getting irritable at times? Do you feel brain fog coming on? There's a whole host of reasons that comes in, but sleep is a big one. Because if we're not falling to sleep and staying there, our bodies aren't repairing, regenerating. They're not, the cells aren't doing what they're supposed to do. The heart, the lungs, I mean, think about it. In our sleep, our hair is growing, are growing, all the things are going on. And it's like when the body does, like our computer does a complete reboot for a fresh start of the day. And if we give it that ability, amazing things will start to happen.
Yeah, and when you were talking about that, I remember when I was young, I'd say, I have to make hay while the sun shines, and then beyond and before, and I'll sleep plenty when I die. Well, what I didn't realize that I was doing was I was draining my internal battery. Now, I can outrun the Energizer battery, the bunny, all day long, run circles around it. But the idea, the damage that was underneath that I wasn't aware that was taking place. And then as I began to understand the value and the importance, like you said, our brain is doing more while we sleep if we allow it to sleep, to rest, so that it detoxifies our body. All the benefits that you mentioned, these are the things that take place when our body's in a restful state. Our brain actually is doing more work when we're sleeping than we give it credit for. And how many people would go a week without charging their phone? My gosh, God forbid that they do that, right? And if you don't drive your car enough, your battery goes dead. If something isn't getting that energy resourced, then you're going to be out and without. And this is what happens in our mind if we're not getting that good quality rest. And the thing of it is, Charlie, is that we have so many more distractions in this generation, in this time frame, than when you and I were kids. We didn't have cell phones before. TV, you had to actually be in a home and watch it. And so your screen time was not probably as an impact. You weren't sitting in front of a monitor for work. You were typing on a typewriter. I mean, maybe some in this generation don't even know what a typewriter would look like. When you talk about red ribbon, yellow ribbon, blue ribbon, they wouldn't know. And these are the added little conveniences that have impacted the quality of our sleep, and the blue light coming in. And most people are spending, like you said, we're in a box and we're driving in a box and constantly in front of a screen. That's disrupting what's happening in the future, that time that we lay our head on a pillow, more than we can give credit to.
Yeah, the biological clock. I used to hear back when I was younger, no one ever died from lack of sleep. Yes, they have.
Yeah.
Brain damage can occur.
Yeah.
Emotional dysregulation occurs. Shortness, like snappy. I'm just tired. Leave me alone. And it's like, okay, well, that's a choice. And then we will then turn to, then the marketers, they market us energy drinks and Snicker bars and crap to fuel that. And then we can't fall asleep at night because we're loaded with sugar and caffeine and all this stuff. So then we're hitting the Tylenol PM, the Excedrin PM, whatever PM, we're hitting the NyQuil, we're going to the doctor and saying, I'm not sleeping. And they give you a pill. They don't say, or did you get outside? Did you touch the earth today? Did you breathe some fresh air? Were you out in the sun? Did you shut down the lights? How often? What's your screen time? Why do you think Apple and Android put monitoring your screen time usage on the phones? Because they know it's a big problem. Now their butts are covered. Can't sue, you can't sue McDonald's for a hot cup of coffee anymore. And you can't sue Apple because I'm addicted to this idiot box that I stare at more than an hour a day. Some people are on it. I mean, it's crazy. It doesn't make it a bad person, Stanley. This is what we're up against. It's meant to suck you in and do that to you.
Yeah, and that is it. There's this constant pull to do more, rather than to be more, but to do more. And a lot of people that I talk to, they have these, and maybe there's somebody listening right now. Let me ask you, do you find yourself tired even after a full night's rest, or even you having frequent wake ups in the middle of the night, or trouble going to sleep, waking up before your alarm goes off, because there is this heightened anxiety that you're going to miss something. Maybe you notice you've got trouble concentrating, or you're irritable with people. And here's the big thing. If you're relying on coffee, my gosh, I know people that were drinking 4, 5, 6 cups of coffee throughout the day. They'd start their day with coffee, and the caffeine. If you're relying on a chemical to keep you going, that is a clear sign that your sleep is being deprived, and not just your sleep, but the entire physical, mental, emotional experience is being diminished or withered. And your body, that's a signal, that's a sign that says, hey, we need to reevaluate this, and we need to get some restorative sleep in action.
Yeah, and I don't want to make this about me, but I intentionally woke up to making it important to slow my mind, my body, my thoughts, bring it to more of a place where I review my day. I climb into bed. I fall asleep pretty fast. Get all warm and all. I love bed, and then sleep. And I don't use an alarm. I just get up in the morning. I don't have to sit on the bed for 5 minutes to gain my composure. I can jump right out. And then I have a day, I'm outside, and especially lately, I've been going outside more. I'm on the earth. I'm doing the things that other mentors and coaches and people that are living a life of, gosh, they're bright-eyed, their skin is glowing, they're energized, and they're not on caffeine, sugar, energy drinks, Snicker bars. I always give Snickers the business because that dang commercial. It's like, God, my mouth would be like, I need one of those. It's like, in the afternoon, you're getting a little sluggish, crack open this baby.
Yeah.
And they're not lying. It is going to give you a jolt, but they don't tell you what 30 minutes is going to be like.
Yeah. Yeah. And, when you're talking about that, that dependency on something outside of us, when our body says, hey, we can create this internally if you give it the right stimuli, and that is no stimuli at all, just give it the process. And darkening the room, we've talked about this before, but it is making sure there's no extra lights going on, making sure your phone is on a sleep mode, so it's not chirping or chiming or giving you. Now, if you have an emergency, by all means, keep it on. But for the most of us, we don't have emergencies like that on a daily basis. And taking this seriously gives us the longevity and the vitality that we are destined to have if we'll just apply that.
And don't believe us. That's what I didn't believe the
Right.
people when I started reading and listening. Like, yeah. That's not what I heard all my life. And it's what's so bad about taking Tylenol PM to help you sleep because you're busy all day. You got a lot going on, and mind is going. And but I don't believe that. I think it's okay to do that. Now, I might have done it, but I don't. I don't need to do any of that stuff. But I do know that I was in a conference and the guy said, "Don't take my word for it." He said, "Experience it yourself. Aim a little higher. Try something, you know." And you can't believe that if you take the action, you're gonna, you can refund your misery. You can refund your lack of sleep and your energy drinks and your chocolate and your coffee all day and night. Go for it. We don't care. It's not that I don't care, but I'm not here to say you have to do anything. But the joy of living is taking some risks and experiencing new things and changing that and realizing that Netflix, cell phones, computers,
Right.
artificial lighting throughout the home, and sitting all day or most of the day, and like if you're getting up like, oh, there's a problem,
Right.
you
Right.
know. And these are just signs, and this will lead to like I said, emotional dysregulation. Like I can't handle my emotional of nature. Like something's happening, emotion is starting to take over, and you're also gonna find out that um blaming, complaining, rationalize, justifying, excuse making. I'm late. I can't get out the door. It compounds and builds over time. And really, it's sleep. But you'll never sleep well if you're eating garbage, eating late at night and all that, especially if you're drinking. Don't think a couple of pops are going to help you sleep. They aren't.
Nor is alcohol.
That's
And
it.
people will
Pop.
tell me, yeah, people will tell me that they need alcohol to relax them at the end of the day. Well, it is a proven fact that alcohol will help you go to sleep, but it will wake you up in the middle of the night because as your body goes into that corrective measure, that alcohol wears off, and your brain says, "Hey, it's time to get up." And creating a sanctuary. So my bedroom is my sanctuary at the end of the day. I have two dim lights on my headboard, and I have a diffuser, and I set the timer for that diffuser for 1 hour. So I'll put some different essential oils in it, and it sets the aroma. So when I'm going to sleep, now my olfactory system in my brain is being activated, and it creates a utopia for me. And then I'll read either my paper Kindle or I will read an actual paper book. And this way I don't have screen in front of me. I'm not looking at Facebook. And it's just allowing my brain to relax and calm down. And I'll do some breath work. And these are things that set me up for success. And also, if you go to sleep on gratitude rather than attitude, you'll actually have a better night's rest. And
Mhm.
just recall 3 to 5 things that you're thankful for, and think about those 3 to 5 things. It's amazing what a change that can do, because there's a lot of people that go to bed angry and they wake up tired and exhausted, and it's just a rumination over and over again. And I say, well, maybe if you added a little bit of gratitude to your before you go to sleep, see what that will do to change the outcome of the quality of your sleep, not just the quantity but the quality of your sleep.
So Stanley, before we went live, you said, "So how are you?" I said, "I'm tired." You, ha ha, we laughed. But I am. And why am I? Well, last night I went to a function, and that function had a screen. It showed a little video. When I got there at 7:30, I had 2 cups of coffee.
Oh,
Had I had like a piece of pie. Well, I don't want to stick out and not be a part of the
Right.
fun. I don't do it every night.
Right.
I do it rarely, but I had a piece of pie and it was freaking delicious. And then I hung around talking to people. I might have had like a candy too. And I came home at 9:30 and all was well. And now I'm yawning and doing a few things on the computer. Of course, I'm looking at the light, but mine automatically switches. The blue light is gone. And just like you can do on the phone, my computer does it at 9 p.m. So if I do look at it, it's
Right.
got that weird looking screen.
Right.
But it's okay because I'm not doing any intricate work. And then I went to bed. And guess what? I couldn't fall asleep. And and I didn't beat myself up. I knew why. Well, what'd you do tonight? How about taking responsibility? But when I was eating the pie and drinking the coffee, I didn't think, why are you doing this? You're going to have trouble sleeping. I was present. But I paid the price. And I probably laid there for almost 2.5 hours, and then finally fell asleep. And I'm okay with that. I
Right.
don't need to go to a doctor. I don't need to do anything except get back on track today. And I am.
Yeah, and I love it that you bring that up, Charlie, because and here the next day we're doing this thing on sleep, and your vulnerability and the transparency. Hey, we're human beings, okay, and we're doing things that aren't always in the highest 100 every day. Nobody lives at 100 every day, okay? I don't care. Nobody does. So it's sharing these experiences, and it's also, you have an inventory now. You can go, okay, why did I wake up the way that I woke up? Well, I had that piece of pie. I was in front of the screen. I had 2 cups of coffee at 7:30. All of these things. Now you can monitor that and you can go, okay, you know what? If I don't want to have that experience again, maybe I need to back off and not have my coffee till 5 o'clock. What was my day before like? So why did I need that cup of coffee to get me through the meeting? Was it just because I wanted to socialize with everybody? Or was it because I was tired from something that I did the day before? And I think you had quite an activity day the day before, just from the photos that you sent me about your pristine leaf-free yard. So, those extra requirements on our body, and then something is making up for it, and then we find ourselves at a meeting. And I think that's great, Charlie, that you need a nap after this podcast.
Who knows? But I don't feel it right now. I feel connected, energized, present, grateful. But I know if I do 3 nights of of not sleeping well and tossing and turning. And see, when I used to toss and turn, I beat myself up. I used to be like, this is I'm tired. Why aren't I falling asleep? This sucks. I'm never going to make it in the morning. And then I fall asleep with that in my mind. And what do you think my body's going to do? My subconscious, it's going to then put me in the morning and say, don't forget, you're not going to do well today. You pounded that into me last night. So now we need to go out and prove that in today's actions. And it's like, oh, I'm so sluggish today. I had a crappy night's sleep. The people that you see or you talk to, it's like, hey, what's up? I don't know. I'm a little sluggish today. I didn't sleep well last night. I don't give a crap. I don't want to know that. It's like, well, that's just the way they cover the basis. Like, so if I'm a little slow, I'm off the mark, I'm not responsive, I have an excuse already. And there's nobody on this planet that can't relate to not getting a good night's sleep.
Right. And the thing of it is it's not just getting one good night's sleep that's going to resolve everything. So, people will ask me when I'm working with them, they'll say, well, how soon can I get results? And I say, well, you may notice results right away, but long-term results may take a little bit because we've got to create this pattern. Everything is in patterns. So when you apply these principles, now you're setting up your success and you're creating the outcome before the outcome happens. And you'll notice more and better and deeper quality of whatever the activity is. And sleeping is an activity, the longer that you do it. And, here, if you shut your screen off at 7:30 tonight and you don't have any coffee after 3 o'clock and you don't eat past 7 o'clock or 3 hours before you go to sleep, and you get a good night's rest tonight, or you don't get a good night's rest, don't blame me. It's everything that has compiled beforehand. And so we got to put that into perspective and go, okay, what if I did this 5 days in a row? What if I did this 6 days in a row? Now we can monitor and kind of watch what happens. And that's where the quality of life really comes in. And here again, it's a saying that I use over and over again. I want to add life to your years, not just years to your life. And there's a big difference. And sleep is one of those key elements that allows us to do that.
And you said, Stanley, when does this kick in? Well, when does going to the gym kick in?
Yeah.
When does eating healthy kick in?
Right.
When does any change in life kick in? Not immediately. The decision and the first day of action. And again, that starts the ball rolling. But again, Stanley, it's like, we're up against, first of all, there's a lot of people, they all complain about sleep deprivation. Not really. I mean, they don't take responsibility for it, though. I slept like crap last night. I hear that a lot. It's like, why? Well, it's not my fault. I mean, it had nothing to do with going to Ruby Tuesdays and eating a garbage dinner and having 3 or 4 beers, hanging out with the boys until 10:30, coming home and getting into bed. It has nothing to do with that. That's normal life stuff. I should just sleep well. No, that's not going to happen. Now, you can buy the best mattress in the world and red light blankets and little covers for your eyes and ear protection and fragrances and misting and temperatures, and you can do all that. But if you're going to bed with a body that it can't align to that stuff because
Right.
it's trying to process toxins and it's trying to help you. It's like, what did you do to me? You do fall asleep and it's like, and then you wake up and you're like, where am I? What day is it? I'm in bed. I was there. I've done that plenty of times. That hasn't happened in years.
Yeah, because the thing of it is, we live in such a hustle focused culture. It's hustle, hustle, hustle. And we rarely talk about the essential, of sleep being the fuel that allows that hustle to take place, the fuel that gives us the ability to be our best selves. And we're so quick to negate the most important things in life. And this, whether it is relationships, I mean, if you spend all your time working and no time on your relationship is not going to last. It's just not going to happen. There's going to be a day break where it says, other person says, forget this. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not a piece of property. And it's the same way with our body. If we diminish the quality and the quantity, the quality with the quantity, so not just sleeping 2 hours, but getting 7 or 8 hours of sleep. And we do this with quality. Now we're having that relationship with ourselves. And it's amazing how much more you can get done in less time when you put the first things first and the most important things first, and accomplish those. And so that's what this whole sleep revolution is all about. Every day we're faced with a choice: prioritize ourselves or push it off for 1 more hour. Prioritize our work or push it off for 1 more hour. And when work which is what we're doing, overrides our life, which is who we're being. When those two get out of balance, your body's going to let you know that it's not going to tolerate it, and it will not tolerate it in sickness. Your immune system breaks down. Your ability to recover breaks down. Your ability to think and participate. All these things, they break down. I love this conversation. We could go on with this, but this is a snapshot. This is a snapshot of what is important in life.
Yeah. And again, go to the mirror. Am I getting enough sleep? Do I know what my body needs? Do I, and they have like your weight, height, and all that. They have an estimate, but you can't go wrong with 8-9 hours. You probably could do 7. I can tell you when again, 168 hours in the week, I had to schedule. You said sleep is, and it's not just something that happens. We need to make it happen.
Right.
And I said, I cannot stay up past, I used to like going to bed between 12 and 1. I could, do my own thing. The kids were asleep. The wife, excuse me, my wonderful wife was asleep. And then I had, a couple of hours. I could watch things and putts out in the garage. So I went to bed really late, and then I would drag in the morning. I would try to stay in bed late, rush out the door to work. Okay. And that wasn't the worst thing in the world, but it caught up to me. I started having some inflammation. I started seeking crappy foods in the afternoon. I didn't know this. I didn't realize I was moving in that direction to make up for my lack of sleep until I woke up to, hey, this isn't the way. So, but Stanley, when I said, okay, I'm not going to bed at a minute after 10:30, that was hard at first. And when I went to bed, I couldn't fall asleep. Right. But the only way to make the change was stick to something. And right. I did it. And I got up at the same time, did a meditation. I started, and then next thing you know, it became my new pattern. It right. became my new, and because I'm about, I go to bed maybe 5-6 minutes. I'm sound asleep. I don't read. I do nothing but go to bed. Oh, I review my day, and I think about how grateful I am, and I set the stage for a peaceful sleep.
Yeah. And the thing of it is, Charlie, if you can't do this by yourself, have somebody that you report to, that you have an accountability with. And it is a non-judgmental accountability. And it's, you and I, when we first connected, the reason that we connected was because we had set intentions that we wanted to achieve. And it was like, okay, did you get that done? And there was no judgment, but it was setting those goals and saying, hey, I'm not going to be on the screen after a certain hour, or I'm going to move so many hours in a day. Did you do that? And, we shared pictures. We were in a group where we shared pictures. We went on a fast, and we were sending pictures of what our food makeup was like. And it became a fun thing. And, fasting, for many people is so misunderstood, just like sleep. And if you got some people that you can say, hey, I want to be accountable to get 7 or 8 hours of sleep, and this is what I'm going to do to set that plan up for success. I want you to hold me accountable so that you can ask me without judgment, hey, did you get to bed by 9 o'clock? Whenever you set that time to be, did you do that? And what was your sleep like? And that's it. Just a couple questions. And then you have that inventory, because now you want to have that success with other people. And I think this is just a great way to set that plan up for success.
Yeah. Yep. We already know. We know. I need more sleep. I hear it all the time with people I got to get more sleep. Where are you going to get it? Do they sell that at Walmart?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't get it. It's already there. You need to make it important. And
Yeah.
if I didn't show up the next day or on that call or have a picture or I know I said I was going to go to bed at 10:30, but I went at 11:30. What did you make more important than the commitment you made to improve the quality of your life? That's a tough question.
It is.
But if you can't get honest, I shouldn't say you. If I couldn't answer that honestly, yeah, I never looked at it that way. You're right. I just felt like doing YouTube and putzing with something because the old me says, screw you, new me. I want you to do what I used to do. And the new me got dominated. But then my accountability, my coach said, what did you make more important? You committed to a new way. And it's like, I see what I did. Thank you for helping me get back on course. That's it. He didn't say I'm a loser. He didn't say I'm not going to work with you anymore. Now, if I showed up every call, every time, and never followed through, I wouldn't want him to work with me. Fire me. You're not ready. Go do more suffering. Have more inflammation. Feel sorry for yourself. Creakety, creakety all morning long. Eat your bowl of gosh darn cereal and have a nice life. Just kidding.
Yeah.
But that's me talking to me.
Yeah. So, as we bring this to a close, I want to bring this up. There's a cost of inaction to what we're presenting here. So what I want you to imagine is a life where every day begins with clear focus, boundless energy, and a deep sense of calm. For many, that feels like a fantasy. But the only thing that's standing between you and that kind of a life is the quality of sleep that you're getting. So my question is, why wouldn't you at least give this a try and see if this actually is for real for you and what that result actually gives you in the long term? And don't just do it for one day or 1 week, but commit to it for a month. And start with one day. Don't think about tomorrow, but just start today and say, you know what? I'm making a change because I want something different. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Well, if you go to bed with your phone looking at Facebook or Twitter or whatever you're looking at, Twitter's not even a thing anymore. Sorry.
X.
That's how outdated. That's X. So the idea is, if you're doing that over and over, create a little bit of a disciplinary action. And that's a personal disciplinary, and just says, I'm going to put this thing down and I'm going to turn the screens off. I'm not going to watch TV, and I'm going to commit to a time where it is just a peaceful time, and do that for one day, and then do it for a second day, and do it for a third day, and then a week, and see, kind of monitor. If it doesn't work for you, let's say you do this for a month and you do high quality sleep and you don't feel any better, go back to the old way. All right. But give this something different a try to see what you might experience. And that's what I've got. Charlie, do you have anything else that you'd like to share on that?
Yeah. Well, I wanted to say, I like what you said. Try this for 30 days.
Yeah.
This is, don't eat 3 hours to go to bed before you go to bed. Try to eat as much whole foods and keep away from the ultra processed foods. Don't hit the caffeine in the afternoon or any energy drinks or sugar if the best you can. And I'm not saying do it all the first day. Work towards this. You will find that your sleep gets more. You have REM, which is rapid eye movement, but it's the deepest, most healing sleep you'll ever get. Get a watch that allows you to measure your sleep. Keep track of it. Share it with your Facebook community, your family, your friends. And then after 30 days, if nothing improves in your life, we will invite you on this podcast, because you will blow my mind away. I've never met anybody that followed the directions and got a different result. Never met anyone, right. But man, I am curious. Would love to know, but I don't believe it. I got to tell you that up front. Anyway, yes, this has been fantastic, Stanley, and good night. I mean, goodbye.
All right. Until we meet again, have an outstanding week, and we're out.